Lunch Money Lambert, Jeff Malott. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Yeah. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation, where we talk about fishing and competition. It's your boy Ox Pippin, aka Ox Fishing. Don't come over here tripping. Hey, hope you enjoy the show. Jeff Malott, Lunch Money Lambert, Lego. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Kayak Bass Nation. Hey, welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation. Welcome to the Kayak Bass Nation.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to KBN Live. Happy
What's going
Monday,
on,
Ryan? You're awful close to that microphone.
I know. I wanted to, get in there, taste it a little bit.
Get in there. Back in the home studio, I see.
Yeah, man. I'm packing up. We're about to head to lacrosse against my will. So hopefully it treats me right. I can't wait to bust some 15-inch fish right in the head.
You going up there Achilles and a half, or are you going two full-born?
No, I started, so I've moved myself up about a week and a half here on the recovery schedule. I started walking on it last week when I wasn't really supposed to. So when I went into PT today, I twirled my crutch around my head and I was like, I don't really need this. I just brought it to show you guys. So they agreed to let me take one wedge out of my heel and pretty much get up there and walk around as tolerated on the pain scale. So we'll see, man. I'm gonna shoot my shot.
Sweet. Well, glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. You got to kind of see how the thing worked. If I saw your Facebook post this week, you had a little run in with some burglars, and you had to run off with the
buddy. So I had, I don't know, 3 kayaks stolen a few years ago here. Hadn't really had any trouble since. And I went out to shoot my bow the other morning, and my bow target was gone. And I was like, maybe I just took it to Cam's, who knows? I got stuff everywhere. So Saturday night, I'm sitting here watching a movie and my neighbor calls. He's a preacher, and he's like, Ryan, my dog just run 2 robbers out from behind your garage. So, we strap up and go chasing marauders through the night. But he's like, you moving pretty good on that leg. So that helped the healing process, I feel like.
adrenaline.
We're out here. What have you been up to?
Well,
win any more cornhole derbs?
No, I haven't won any more cornhole derbs. I haven't played any more actual tournaments. Just been throwing around. I got one this week though, so I'll go out this week and try. Got to see Roro this weekend. She's heading to Little Rock. Went down there today. She's having some tests. See where we're standing after her last round of chemo. So that's what I did yesterday. We got to hang out with her most of the day yesterday, and then prayers up that she gets good news this week, and we're off and running. If we get to ring that bell, I'll probably be on here crying for 3 episodes. So if we ring it,
can't wait to see it.
Yeah. So over the weekend, man, there was some fishing going on. If you guys saw the title of the show, we've got the winners of the mighty Susquehanna, the Susquehanna River No Limit tournament. This one was, it's in the middle of summer, so it didn't feel like it had the hype, but it still pulled big numbers. Still had 150 plus, a lot of fish caught. And we've got the overall winner, Chris Schafer, and then Jordan Welliver, who took big bass and also finished top 10. So we got both in here.
I like it. Yeah. It's going to be a good one.
What'd you think of how that went? They're still, that series is pulling steady numbers. They're keep up.
Yeah, I think it's a good format. And, we kind of talked about this pre-show, and we'll get into it a little bit later on, but it's a really, kind of shuffles things up, having to go on your full limit, like everything you've caught all day versus just the big 5.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, we'll talk about that because there's some interesting numbers that came out of that. There were multiple events that, wait a minute, whoa. First LinkedIn viewer right now. Put us on LinkedIn. Dwayne Wally said he's watching us on LinkedIn.
What? Don't put us on LinkedIn. I've got actual customers over there.
Then he put the hashtag TourneyX, which means he's giving away something for TourneyX tonight. So thanks, Dwayne.
Oh, is he going to give away the secret to make my app not log me out all the time?
He's giving Ryan a lifetime password login.
Please, Dwayne, please.
Yeah, so appreciate you, Dwayne, over there.
Awesome.
I don't know if let's see who we got. We got no Twitchers yet. So our one Twitch viewer is not back. But we got a bunch of people on YouTube and Facebook, so we're doing good there. The other fishing that went down over the weekend, man, I saw our boy Jordan Marshall. Took the AOI.
He locked it up, man. Locked up the AOI. I was talking to him after that, helping him get, as you saw, the Road Dogging Studios is up and running, but we were doing some audio testing and stuff. He's won, I think he said 8 different AOYs. You think about how hard it is to win one AOY. He's won 8 AOYs. Like when you talk about consistency, I mean, that's Marshall, man. He's always up there.
My man is done.
Shout out to Josh Stewart. Josh Stewart won the entire tournament. I didn't want his win to be overshadowed by Marshall locking up AOY. Hats off to Josh Stewart on what seemed like a pretty tough bite because they had that the college national championship down there with like 2 million boats running around too. So they had to work for it on Pickwick.
Yeah, I don't know. That's your neck of the woods, man. Is Pickwick typically tough in the summertime like this, or
buddy? Everywhere is tough in September, like anywhere in the South. I'm glad, honestly. I hate to say it, I'm glad I'm driving to La Crosse to fish because at least it's not, that just lull. And as you saw on the Sandusky, it didn't slow down a bit. They said the water was up, it was right, and the fish were chewing. And I mean, you can look at the totals and see that was the case.
Yes, sir. I wish I was going. I love La Crosse. I've told you that 100 times. I wish I was going up there with you this time, but maybe next time. I hope you get a good, not an Arkansas experience, but a good Wisconsin experience up there, and you want to go back. And the next time I'll roll up there with you. That's what we'll do. If you guys saw in the pre-show scroll there, we're doing our Seaguar. We put off the Seaguar giveaway like 2 weeks because the people that keep coming on keep bumping it because they keep giving stuff away instead of what we plan on giving away. So
which we're fine with that, and we appreciate the kindness.
Yeah, we're fine with that. So last week, another huge giveaway. We gave away Pro Guide battery. That ended up being a great show.
That was a great show. Very informative. If you've missed that one, go back and watch it, and you'll learn how to not electrocute yourself.
Yeah. So tonight, Seaguar giveaway, you know the drill. Facebook, like and share. YouTube, like, comment. Same thing on Twitch. We'll do that at the end of the show.
Bob,
what else?
I'm down. I'm down for a meetup, Bob. Let's do it.
Ooh. Yeah, we got to get a picture with you and Bob up there.
Abby will carry me on his back to wherever the meetup is. He's promised me that. Him and Marky Mark.
We got Josh Hawks tuning in from Colorado. Just moved from Kentucky. Only thing he's going to miss is the fishing, he says. Then Stephen Robertson.
Beautiful though.
Yeah, Stephen, right down the road from me, man. He says hi from Harrison, Arkansas. I'm in Fayetteville, Stephen. So
nice.
We're
neighbors.
Pretty close. Pretty close. My son actually played basketball at North Ark over there. So there you go, Stephen.
Todd jumping the gun on that hashtag. You don't know. We're not that predictable, Todd. Who knows what we're going to do?
That's right. Maybe I'll misspell
We could do hashtag Sandusky. Who knows?
A few more things to get to. What else we got? Of course, I'm going to give our sponsors a shout out. Before we do that, I got a little investigative report to reveal to you, Ryan.
Oh.
KBN Investigates. So
okay.
I received a screenshot of a message over on the KBF org. As we know, they run monthly challenges, right? And there's a history of non-payments over there, unfortunately. And there were two anglers.
Are you kidding me?
No, there were two anglers that were posting underneath the next month's announcement that they hadn't been paid yet. The reply from that organization was, hey, the media arm of this company doesn't operate the payments. Please reach out to customer service and they will take care of you, which I thought was a reasonable response.
Mm-hmm.
So as an investigative reporter, that's what I did. I reached out and said, hey, there's a couple anglers. I got a message asking why they haven't been paid yet since June. It's been 2 months. What's going on? Customer service. And the reply what got from customer service was, yeah, we don't handle that. You need to reach out. You need to reach out to this next email. So there's another chain going on. So I don't know what's going on over there, but that's my investigative report, man. I need to get.
I appreciate your diligence for trying to help the anglers get what's owed to them year after year, after year, after year,
after month, after week. So there you go. I did what I could. Thanks for sending me the picture. Steven said he loves the education stuff you guys share, thinking about hitting the Beaver Lake area by 412 till Springdale. That's right by my house, dude. Like 5 minutes. So yeah. I'd throw some cornhole bags if you want to come over here. I don't know what you would throw in the water, but yeah. So let's give a shout out to the sponsors and we'll get these guys in here and start talking.
Let's do it.
Of course, you see the hat right there, Ryan.
I do.
Dugout Bait and Tackle.
I love it.
Show is presented by Dugout Bait and Tackle. Love what
Happy birthday, Lee Rose, the princess of the Koza family.
Yeah, she kills it over there. Does she run their Instagram? It seems like she might.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they put out some good stuff over there on the gram. Of course, anything you need, go to dugoutfishing.com, or just if you're in the southeast or just going through that area, swing by and they can hook you up literally with just about anything from tackle.
Yep. And if you ever need anything at a major tournament trail, we have guys coming from everywhere, going to everywhere. So reach out and we can have it delivered.
Yeah, and if you're talking about the big 3 boat brands, they carry them. They're all over that. They can rig them up, do whatever you need to them. So there you go. Dugout Bait and Tackle. Then last week we had Pro Guide Lithium on. That was literally a masterclass in lithium batteries, the science behind it, why brand matters. That was awesome. I need to do some clips out of that and get some informational nuggets.
Old buddy knows what he's talking about on that deal.
Yeah, Bangtail Whiskey, the official drink of KBN. I'm drinking Powerade tonight. Bangtail's the official drink of KBN. Then of course tonight's a Seaguar giveaway. Revo, Gill, and Z-Man do giveaways every other week or so. So we appreciate all them and the partnership we have with them. So yeah, there we go. Sponsor shout out. We couldn't do the show without them. And I know I hope you guys would watch this without them, but I think maybe they're here for the free stuff, right? I don't know.
Sometimes. I mean, it helps. It helps.
Yeah. No, whatever reason you're here, we're glad. We're glad you're here.
Oh yeah.
So with that said, let's get these guys in. They're tired of listening to us talk. Let's listen to them talk. All right. Chris Schafer, Jordan Welliver. What's up, fellas? Jordan with the Jordan Marshall shirt on.
I like that. Yeah. That's you got to appreciate the fans out there.
Wow, the Clark Brothers construction is getting loose in the comments, Ryan. That's
why did Clark say he's banned from KBN?
I don't know. Well, fellas, congrats first of all on your overall win, Chris, and Big Bass, Jordan, and top 10 finish. Congrats to both of you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know Ryan and I were talking about it, but either one of you can start first. What'd y'all think of that format, and especially on the Susky?
Go ahead, Jordan.
Jordan Hot Mess Welliver is what we've been instructed to refer to you as.
That's Josh Sims. I definitely expected higher numbers, but with the rain and everything that happened the week before, I really think that put a damper on the MLF thing, but it was definitely something that I enjoyed doing. I was actually fishing for 15-inch fish. If you look at every other one I caught, it was either 15 or 16 inches.
So you fish the Susky quite a bit. You fish it out of boats, out of kayaks, out of anything you can find. With the water being up, correct? It was moving pretty good, had some color to it. How did it position those fish compared to, when it's low, like last time we were up there?
They weren't as spread out. Every ledge didn't have fish and stuff like that. Every island didn't hold fish. It was just certain eddies that I was able to even catch fish out of. Unlike when it was low, then you could catch it. There was no rhyme or reason to where they're at all.
Was that a similar story for where you were, Chris?
Yeah, it was. I kind of thought going into the tournament, because the water was up. I mean, I think it was running about 23,000 CFS day of the tournament, somewhere in there. I thought that they would be positioned around, I've fished several of the Hobie tournaments that's been up there every year since 2020, and it's been a little bit different condition each time that we've been up there. And the water was actually kind of similar to a previous tournament I did for Hobie. And, I tried starting the morning off with a plopper and jackhammer. Thought maybe, you hear a lot of people doing well around the grass islands and on the points of those with those. And, I caught a few and I had a couple of good ones come up, but like Jordan was saying, they didn't seem like they were like super spread out. And so, I kind of caught an audible early on and kind of went and fished something that I had had success with at that one Hobie tournament where the water was up around the same level and the fish were doing the exact same thing that they were then. So,
That's what it looked like from going back and, people that were posting videos and stuff from the tournament and, little highlights and stuff. I caught them really well when I was up there for that Hobie that I think you're referring to, the second one, when the water was moving pretty good.
yeah.
And it for me, it was that grass island bite was really what played, just the little eddies caused by the edges of those grass islands were pretty solid for me.
Yeah, I actually heard a lot of people say that after that tournament, and that's kind of why I went to that first thing in the morning, but it just didn't seem to be hitting for where I was fishing at around the grass islands and things like that. So
we've got some comments coming in. Chris, I want to save some of these questions and comments for you, but what did you think of the format? Jordan kind of commented on it, but have you fished a no limit like that before?
I did last year. I fished just one on the Susquehanna last year, and it was really tough fishing last year too, but it was a different story, but real low, clear water. But man, for this river, that tournament was, it's an awesome fishery for that style of tournament. I love it, man. I had a really good time. You wore out afterwards. It's from start to finish. You've got to just balls to the wall. basically from start to finish if you want to try to win. So, but
was that native tournament in October last year? Or am I crazy? It was later in the year, wasn't it? I think
October 8th.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it was in October, and I remember like the guys that went up pre-fishing were smoking them, just wrecking them all week. And then tournament day rolled around. Obviously, numbers dropped off. What do you think on these river tournaments about pre-fishing? Like, I know some of these tournaments don't even have pre-fishing days. The bigger ones now are cut down to a week. What happens if 200 people show up and pre-fish for a week on a river? Like, I feel like people need to take that kind of thing into account as how it's going to affect the quality of the tournament overall.
I think that it definitely does. I definitely try to plan around where I think probably got the least amount of pressure throughout the week. So, it definitely goes into some things to think about.
What do you think, Jordan? Other Jordan?
I definitely try, especially when it comes here, I try not to do any at all because I always seem to stick the wrong fish during practice. So I try not to. I pre-fished for 2 hours and threw a whopper plopper that was so big that when they did blow up on it, they missed it. But at the new, I didn't pre-fish. When I picked my spot, I did not pre-fish at all. I pretty much floated with rods with me. And it definitely still got pressure.
Let me tell you this. Yeah. You got some good friends up there because you're getting some smoke in the comments, Jordan.
Yeah, they're burning you up, boy.
Oh, I'm sure.
That means you got good buddies. That's a sign of that. Sisto's giving it to you. Chase Laney.
I got to ride with him to Wisconsin.
To a Sisto?
Yeah.
Yeesh. Yeah.
Marshall throwing out some love. Nice shirt, nice name, nice fish. So Chris, how did you approach this? You said you have history on the river. How many days did you pre-fish? Like what was kind of your logic on selecting a stretch of the river as well?
For me, man, I was actually, I got to give a shout out to my family, my mom, dad, and brother, because I was actually on family vacation at Myrtle Beach and talked them into letting me leave a day early. And they watched my daughter for me. So I actually drove up Friday around midday from Myrtle Beach, which is about 10 and a half hours. So I didn't even get up there until about 11:30 at night. And so I just went to a section that I was familiar with because I didn't get to pre-fish and nothing like that. And, you know, I typically fish the same section every time anyway. So
I thought you were going to say you sent your mom to pre-fish. That's where I thought that story was going. That would have been
There's no
awesome.
rules against it, Ryan. There's no rules.
Shout out to my mom. Sent her to pre-fish. I was on vacation.
Put me on the juice. That'd be a better story, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's we're gonna use that narrative for the rest of this interview. Jordan, what did you do to select your one big bass?
I was throwing a tube like I did for the other ones I caught.
Really? Tubing,
yeah,
huh? Okay.
Sneaky Hollow 3.5 Dirty Boy tube. It's
Shameless plug. Send him a check.
yeah. Well, I make them, so
Send yourself a check.
Send Jordan a check. You make them and sell them, I presume?
yeah.
Or do you not let anybody else have them? You make
No,
make this own secret bait, and then he's like, "Nah, you're not getting any, man."
It's definitely not a secret. The worst part is I went to a bait shop Friday night and bought a pack of them because I didn't feel like going and cutting any tubes. So I
Went
just
and bought your own baits.
Yeah, he thought it was hysterical, but it was better than having to do it.
You never have what you need when you need it anyway. Like I have boxes of Z-Man stuff in the garage, and I'll go to a bait shop and buy a handful of jackhammers almost every tournament. I don't know why.
Yeah.
That's how these big companies buying their own stock back. That's what Jordan's doing. He's over there pushing retail.
That's smart.
That's
smart.
Smart. Yeah, we're still getting smoke in the comments for you. Sistos, he kind of explained the river. He said, because when I first heard you guys say that the river was up, but the fish weren't spread out, that kind of seemed counterintuitive to me. But he said the river was falling, so even though it's up on a falling gauge, it sucks. Was that the deal? Because even though it was up, it was on its way down, and that kind of scrambled the fish, positioned them some kind of way.
Absolutely. They definitely don't. I mean, I always find them to act right on the rise. And then it's on the drop that they sometimes you can smoke them on the drop too, but I was hoping the river went up a little higher than it did, because then it really puts them where they should be.
Yeah. It looked like some really good, especially pre-fishing. You saw a lot of people, posting some really good fish. I know Abby went up there and had a pretty good time pre-fishing. He thought he was going to take big bass. He has accused you of sandbagging. Were you sitting on that big bass just to break Abby's heart, or did you catch it in that last little bit of the tournament?
I
Caught it first thing in the morning.
I'm a sandbagger.
He said that's what he said. He's like, he is a well-known sandbagger. I'm pretty sure that's what he did.
He called me and he's like, "When did you catch that fish?" And I was like, "Dude, I have a Snapchat to prove it." Like, I get excited over like deer and hunting a big buck in archery season, and I've never got buck fever like I did when that fish hit my net and I realized how big it actually was.
I can't keep it a secret because I love to do Instagram story updates. So you'll never have to worry about me sandbagging, because I post my stuff for everybody to watch all day long just for the hell of it.
Ryan, is there any rules against the big toe holding the board down like that? Using it as that'll be the next rule that's implemented. That'll be a no touch zone at the end of the board. Can't touch your ID with your big toe.
Marshall, we discussed this with Chris earlier. We already thanked Chris for winning this, so we didn't have to bring Archman on. Sorry, Jake. Yeah, that's a monster fish, man. And anybody that's fished the Susky, that 18 and 19-inch fish seems to be super common, throughout the river. 20 and a half plus is huge up there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say in April's. I wish this tournament would come here in April.
Everybody does.
Because it would be the craziest thing ever, and it would probably take like a 22 and a half, 22 and 3/4 inch bass to win it in April. Like, I know my April monthly, I posted 105 and a half or something like that. So, but
that's nuts.
There's giants. I don't know where they go. That's my first 21 since April. I've caught
Chris,
20s.
What's your opinion on it? I mean, what do you think as far as, where these big ones are? Obviously, you found a super consistent bite numbers wise, and closed it out MLF style. But where do you think those kickers are hiding up there?
Well, I mean, they were definitely where I was fishing. I mean, I had the fish. I left probably another 150 inches on the table easily on fish that broke me off, and just, I probably should have went over to the bank after a couple in the morning and upped my leader a little bit, but I didn't, and it kept costing me all throughout the day. I mean, big fish, man. They were just, how they are up there. They just kind of start running, and you just got to let them run with some drag. But man, I lost several really good ones. But for me, they seem to be, when the bite was like it, I could tell it was going to be kind of early on in the day. To me, they seem to kind of go to the deeper areas of the river, just relative to where you're fishing, and kind of, get up under the rocks, and, if there's any, thing structure like that. I mean, that's where I've had the most luck on when it was fishing like it was this past weekend.
Harshman just posted kind of a reply to that. He thinks the true giants go where they will never get bothered in the summertime, in the fastest, shallowest current where boats and kayaks can't really get to. I caught big bass up there in that Hobie tournament a couple years ago, and it was sitting kind of in a really inconspicuous place. Like, it was back in one of those little cut through kind of canals through the grass islands. The water was not moving at all, and it was muddy where that big fish was sitting. So I don't know. I don't know what the logic is, but definitely the fish, I feel like, outsmart most of the anglers most of the time.
Yeah, it seems to be, like I said, I think it's probably my 5th tournament I fished on that river, and the bite's it's just been kind of different each time.
Let me throw the screenshot of the leaderboard up here, or the live view. So we already talked about the format a little bit, but I mean, you won by 4 inches, which is one fish, right? This isn't like your typical format where you're worried about somebody culling. They don't have to cull; they just have to catch one more. So, coming down the stretch, did you feel confident you had it in the bag, or did you think all those lost fish were going to cost you a little bit?
So the last time I checked the leaderboard was around 12, 15-ish. I think they turned it off around 1, but I checked it around 12, 15, and I was in 6th place. And I was down by, I think, like 36 inches or something like that. But at the time, kind of knowing what the bite was, like Jordan said, I knew they weren't all kind of spread around, and I was hoping people wouldn't smash them on a jackhammer. And then when I got to the award show, I heard some people say that they didn't have a lot of luck on jackhammer. So I was like, I knew that was good for me, because, like I said, around 12:30, when I saw how much I was down, I felt pretty confident that I would at least catch that, if not more, in the last hour and a half, which luckily I did, just because I knew I had fished that river during that exact same bite before. So I just felt super confident with the little bit of time that was left.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys, I'm sure people watching, you two have probably watched MLF stuff in the past, and you see how that goes. I mean, you'll see a guy be in the lead all day long, and then somebody goes on a 30-minute flurry and catches 8 bass and puts it away real quick, so that can happen to you.
I caught my last keeper in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So
what was your approach, Chris? We talked about Jordan making his own soft plastics for this tournament. What did you hand carve any topwater plugs, or what was your approach going into this?
I didn't make it, but I was having all my luck on a jig. But I was fishing the jig a lot like a tube. Like he said, he was catching his on, kind of slowly dragging it, popping it just occasionally like you would a tube. But that's what I was having most of my luck on. I was bouncing back and forth between a 1/4 ounce and 3/8 ounce jig, and that was the ticket for me.
Something that fascinates me that especially the guys that fish that river pretty often, and I want you two to weigh in on this. Jordan, we'll start with you. Did you single access this and just work kind of back and forth on an area of the river, or did you do a float?
Yeah, I moved probably 600 yards in total.
Okay. That's what you hear. Usually the local guys will fish, just kind of stay in one area. Chris, did you do the same thing, or did you cover water?
No, I mean, I did a 3-mile float, but I sat in certain areas for extended periods of time. Like, I wasn't just floating and fishing.
Gotcha. That always blows my mind. Like, and I'll say, like, I would see Jody Queen, like I would do a float. I like doing floats. Like when we fish the rivers around here, you want to do a float, cover as much water as you can, stop at the rapids or the pools, depending on where the fish are holding, and focus on those areas. But like, I would see Jody single access, and I'd watch him for hours. Like, I would go and fish and come back, and he's still like relatively, around the same area on multiple parts of the river. So are there, I guess, just hot spots that kind of load up in that summertime pattern?
That's from growing up and fishing in West Virginia is what that's from.
I guess, man.
You gotta
like, it
you
blows
gotta
my
just
mind.
sit in spots all day and just pick them off as you can, basically.
Yeah, Harshman says if you find a spot holding fish, it'll reload all day.
Clearly, I guess,
juice.
man. Harshman, did you mix it up on this tournament, or did you go with kind of your typical MO? Congrats to Harshman, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, Harshman, didn't you win the other 2 joint events? Do either of y'all know?
Yeah, he did.
He did? Yeah, I thought so.
And we talked about that before we went live, Ryan. I want to show you my screen again. No disrespect to Jake. He finished 30th in this tournament, but best 5, he won 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that shows the difference in the 2 formats. It's quite a huge deal. He
Yeah,
said he
his
won
best
both.
5 was good.
Yeah, real good. And I think that
crazy.
20 had to win an hour, right? Had to win an hourly.
Yeah,
contest.
he did.
Mm-hmm. That's nuts.
Yeah. He said he still cleared 3K. So there you go.
Not bad. Not bad.
Not a bad day's work, Jake.
No.
Yeah. And Native, the way they do this hourly big bass deal, it's not how you submit them. If we've had people on here before and talked, it's when you took the photo, right?
Yeah.
So even if you want to sandbag, like people do, you still get locked in. Still get locked in on that hour.
Jake said he did not milk run 6 grass islands all day. He said.
Nice. I saw your videos, Jake, or your clips that you posted. It looked like you were on the old grassy knoll.
We got a few questions here I'll try to get to right now. Ryan Van Tyne said, Chris, Russell Johnson said, answer the question he wanted you to ask. Answer his question. You know what it is. So I don't know what that means, but
Chris, do you want to let us in on this secret that we've got here?
So, yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit.
Is it a Jeremy Hughes kind of story? That'd be awesome.
Did you beat anybody's
This
ass
goes-
on the riverbank during this tournament?
This goes back to, old school grassroots kayak days when, it was, I kind of got started fishing around in the West Virginia trail, and Russell obviously was up there in Pennsylvania. Back in the early days, man, those were 2 of the biggest trails in the nation. I mean, if you wanted to go to a 100-person tournament, you probably went to one of those 2.
Was it Mountain State? That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mountain State Kayak Anglers, and we've got 3 trails in the state now, but at the time it was Mountain State Kayak Anglers, and then the Kappa, whatever, up in Pennsylvania. So, naturally, some trash talk started online between Susky and New River. We've been going back and chirping for many years, man. And so he wants me to eat crow and admit that the Susky's better than the New River. So,
we've had 2 big events here in the last little bit on both rivers. So,
yeah, it's back in the day, man, it was a lot easier for me to kind of sugarcoat it because not a lot of people from Pennsylvania had fished the New, and not a lot of people from West Virginia fished the Susky, but now the secret's kind of out and everybody's kind of fished both rivers. And so I think it's fairly obvious where most people would rank the 2 rivers. So, but I'm not going to say it on on a
Do you
live
think it's
broadcast. I'm not
because
going to.
we've heard that, the New River had some bad spawn years and things, and do you think that's what hurt the quality, or what was it like, 7 years ago? Like, how does it compare to what it is today on the New River?
The New River's getting better, actually.
Okay.
I know the Hobie tournament there a couple weeks ago. I think it looked like people struggled pretty hard, but now the new it's getting better. But over the last 10 years, we've seen a big decline for whatever reason in the amount of crayfish you see when you're out fishing, turning over rocks. I don't have a clue, why, but that's just kind of been some stuff I've noticed. But I don't know what kind of had led to the decline initially. I think a lot of it had to do with spawn classes and stuff like that. But it's actually getting better. I mean, we've seen it improve. I think that's why Hobie decided to come back this year, because
Marshall, New River's the worst river I've ever fished, hands down. Road Dog review, 0.5 stars.
Tough crowd, damn.
Yeah, Sisto made an interesting point. He said the new may have better quality, but not the quantity, because there were some giants caught on the new, especially pre-fishing.
And that's stuff that I feel like drew people into wanting to fish the new. Like, I wanted to fish the new if I could have, honestly, because you see people posting 23-inch smallmouth. Like, I love smallmouth, love chasing them wherever. A 23-inch smallmouth is, I mean, that's you can't beat that anywhere. So why is it that the new has 23s and the Susky? I mean, I know Jeff Little's caught some giants in the Susky, but a 23-inch smallmouth is seems fairly, I don't want to say common on the new, but you see several a year there, I feel like.
I mean, there was one caught pre-fishing the week of the Hobie tournament. A guy that in the event caught one. But I mean Russell says it too, man. You're probably not going to catch a lot of like 21s on the Susky. Jordan did recently, but for whatever reason they kind of all stack up in that 19 to 20-inch range on the Susky. But the New River, they're either short, or they're super long. So I don't know why there's not much of it in between.
They're eating all the medium-sized ones. That's the deal.
That could be, yeah. Or the musky are.
Yeah, cannibalizing them.
Marshall says a mean mouth that don't count. I'd rather have a mean mouth, to be honest with you. I like those big giant hybrids.
I got a few questions saved here. If you guys have any more questions for them, I'll throw them on the screen here in just a second. Joe Mack on YouTube asked, do these guys participate in any of the big series, and how does this format measure up? And I know Jordan does. Chris, do you fish in some of the BOS stuff and Bassmaster stuff as well?
Yeah, he said he's fished a few of the BOS on Susky. Do you follow the trail anywhere else?
No, I just fished the Susky tournament, and I actually signed up and paid for the New River, and actually had a family emergency week of the event and had to bow out, so didn't get to fish it. But I do that, and I go down to the Bluegrass Kayak Anglers out of Kentucky do a Del Hollow event every year. I always try to make it to that. So
still getting the smoke. What do you guys think though? Heads up. What do you? I know they're both completely different. You don't have to say one's better than the other, like you did the two rivers there. But which do you prefer? Do you prefer one of the over best five, or is this just a nice change up?
I think it's a nice change up. Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, look, man, I held in a pee for like 7 hours. Because
let it go.
I was dehydrated and probably had bladder issues because I wouldn't drink water, and I wouldn't even pull over to the bank to pee because I didn't want to slow down in this tournament. I mean, it was me and my buddy I went with were just grinding hard, man. So I don't know if I could do that all the time.
Yeah, you want to do that? It's bladder problems. What about you, Jordan?
Did you pee during the tournament, Jordan?
I definitely did. I just want to shout out my buddy right now who thought he could float. He fished with me. He single access with me, and he was floating, and he tried the old stand up and pee method, and he caught a rock or something, and he was halfway done and laying in the water. I don't know the whole story.
Really?
But yeah.
Midstream in the water is never a good deal.
Are there any videos of that anywhere?
No.
Okay.
No, but I definitely like the 5-fish tournaments, but I just want the Susky to actually show out on a no limit. tournament because this wasn't what I expected it to be. I thought it'd take 600 to even make it in the top 11.
That's what you would think with the number of quality fish that are in the Susky. Do you think it was that falling water, or what was it that you think kind of knocked it back?
I don't know what it was, but anywhere that I could, well, last year in the Hobie was about like pretty much this time, and I sat in the same spot both days, and first 5 casts caught like 85 inches, and those fish were nowhere to be found anywhere.
I'm not going to post Marshall's reply. We're getting too personal in the comments.
Poor Edwin. He got himself a podcast and just saying anything. God's sakes. Wow.
Oh, Sisto. New over Susky. Wow.
Screw
Sisto.
Get out of here. He's just starting stuff.
He's what you call an antagonist. That's what he is.
Boy.
Not a bad way. Okay, Chase Laney asks on Facebook, were the fish acting finicky? Were they pretty lethargic, fishing slow, somewhat fast? You guys both sort of already touched on what you're doing, but
I mean, I don't really think they were finicky at all, man. It's just they were just in certain spots. But if you kind of put your bait where they were, I mean, they were thumping it.
It's just a matter of finding them. If you found them, they were eating.
Yeah.
Jordan Marshall asked Chris, when was your first kayak event? Been a minute,
man. I mean, I fished that very first. I did a couple of local trails before that, but I did that very first KBF tournament they did. I think it was on Kentucky Lake. It was an open or something like that. What was that? 2016ish, somewhere in there. But I think I did a whole year's worth or so with a local trail. Mountain State Kayaking was prior to that, so it's been a while.
Didn't Russell Johnson used to come down there and clean house,
take our money every damn month?
Yeah, I loved his stories about that, man. He gets hyped up on that stuff.
He won Angler of the Year. He won several events down here, man.
When I first learned of him, I thought he was just from there.
Yeah,
I didn't know he was. I didn't know he was from up north. No. Like, damn, he just make him a little easy road trip out of that. A little easy lunch money. Here's a question for you. Well, man, I clicked on the wrong one. For Jordan, Josh wants to know if you think you're gonna beat him for Big Bass of the Year in the MAKBF.
That's not even a question. That's easy.
Easy money.
Oh boy,
easy money.
Okay.
I like it. Let's see. We got another question. These are both individual questions for Chris. It says, Chris, where would you be in your fishing career without knowing Don Fitch? What does that mean?
It's a fantasy football joke. That's what I'm wearing on my shirt, man.
All right.
That's my boys from. I'm in a die-hard fantasy football league in Columbus. So
is this another one? Is this another fantasy football? Where would you?
Yeah, that's my fantasy football crew on here.
We have 92 people watching right now, and probably 50 of them kayak fish.
What's the name of your league?
O2 Crew, man. It's the year we graduated high school, and we all kind of kept in touch ever since and all that. So
that's awesome. Me and Steve-O run a little fantasy football league. It gets fairly spicy during the fall times.
How we don't put together a KBN fantasy football league?
I don't know.
That doesn't even
because we have too much other crap
to
do. I feel like.
I can imagine how fun it would be. Just having the Allens in it would be fun enough, I guess.
Jordan, what are you thinking about lacrosse? Are you excited about that? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done a ton of homework, but I have 15 hours to do it. Steve's going to be my chaperone, so I'm just going to do my research then, and we're all three going together, so whatever we all decide is what we're doing. So
okay,
I'm excited for it, though. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Are you strapping your kayaks together, or are you going to fish kind of independently, just close by?
Well, no, me and Steve are riding in the same kayak the whole time.
Facing each other? You turn the seats facing each other?
Well, no, he's pedaling. He's in better shape than I am, so
all right.
I'm just on the back.
I need a designated peddler myself.
You can triple shot it.
Yeah, can I jump in? Can I jump in
Well,
there and sit on the back?
You get the front, it'll be balanced out perfectly.
Little three-way action on the Hobie there.
Whoa, Jeff. Easy. Easy. This isn't the Sandusky. We're
I
going
meant
to
fishing,
lacrosse.
for God's sakes.
Gosh. Oh, boy.
Sister. This guy's too much. Let's see what other questions we got. Okay, here's a good one from Chase Laney on Facebook. What were your expectations from the start? Like, what did you expect out of this No Limit tournament versus how it ended up?
I mean, for me, I think it was about 3.5 hours into the tournament. I went down to the fishing what I had kind of had success with at the previous Hobie tournament, and as soon as I started catching them like that, I mean, I knew what I was going to be doing the rest of the day. So it took me about 3 hours but I thought I was like Jordan. I thought, that it would be lights out. It would take 400, 500, 600 inches to win it.
How many fish did you catch?
Chris, what's happening there?
in that
You under
area?
attack? What's going on over there on your right-hand shoulder?
Yeah, man. I told you in the pre-show. I was in a different room, but I wasn't getting good Wi-Fi, and I said, "There's going to be cats all over the."
That's all right. I'm just making sure you wasn't under like being assaulted there. I don't know what was going on.
What was the question though? I think somebody had asked me.
Sorry, Ryan.
How many fish did you catch overall once
man,
you found the spot?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how many I caught. Tourney X's shows top 15. So.
Here's a little lacrosse juice. Pool 8 will win this time. I don't know where any of these pools are, but I did see Bob talking trash about Pool 8 earlier.
I will tell you that's my favorite pool, Ryan.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference in any of them is. Is it bigger fish or just
It's
more
closer to
little
the
fish?
hotel, so it's easier for me
Okay. All right. I'm looking like proximity. Like I was looking at some of this stuff, and obviously it's a Mississippi River, right? So I'm like, well, that's 3 miles, 4 miles away from the launch. I'm looking for something like 100-yard radius of a boat ramp is what I'm trying to get into.
You can go over to the boat ramp where all the MLF tournaments go out of and just catch retreads, and there you go.
I can do like some of these other kayak anglers and just find some dead fish floating and measure a stringer of those.
There you go.
I hear that's a cool thing to do now.
Don't do that, Ryan.
Come on, man.
I
Give
don't
me a
wanna get
break.
I don't want to get.
Give me a break. Hobie hates disabled people, so I'm trying to. They won't give me a pass for a motor, so I'll take it.
You're gonna do fine. You're gonna do fine. Any more questions? Throw them in here. Josh Evans wanted me to ask you this earlier, Chris. He said, "Ask Chris about his PB Smalley on the new." Is there a special story there?
I think Josh is actually talking about a different picture. It's not my PB, but it was one that kept floating around for years and
Josh.
years. But
Is it photoshopped or something?
no, I mean it kind of looks photoshopped.
No, it's just an 8-pounder. 9's my PB.
It's. I think a couple people thought it was photoshopped for a while, but no, my PB is actually what's in my Tourney X picture. It's 20, 22 and a half, maybe 6.5 pounds or something like that.
That's a bad boy right there.
Yep, that's it.
That's a big
It's caught on January 1st of, I think, 2022. Opened up the new year with that.
And that was on the new.
That's on the new river. Yep.
Dang. Yep. Unbelievable.
Oh, Bob's thinking of 3 spots that I can fish. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Just do whatever Bob says, man. You'll be fine.
Somebody just tie my kayak to a tree and come back and check on me at the end of the day.
Yeah. And Jordan's just nothing but hate for the new. That's 12
Marshall
more
is
inches.
fired up tonight, boy. He's got that sign. He got his LEDs working on his sign. He's just out here burning the place
I
down.
bet you he's sitting in there right this second with the lights on. That's what
I hope
think.
so.
We need to get Sisto on here. You need to call into one of the call-ins one night.
Yeah, we actually have open call-in, Sisto, that you can be on. You don't even have to ever win anything.
I think he'd be perfect for open mic night. Harshman, I'm with you here, man. I love lacrosse. It gets a lot of slander. I don't know why. I know the Southeastern guys are wanting nothing but giants, but I think lacrosse is a cool place, and I like going up there.
I'm excited to see it. Obviously they have a great chamber of commerce that really markets well to fishing tournaments, period, but especially to the kayak fishing. So I know that's what keeps on bringing these events back. So you have to factor in the experience part. So we're going to drive 12 hours tomorrow and see what's happening.
Yeah, and the why am I Jeremiah, the guy that runs the chamber up there, the Visitors Bureau? I mean, he's one of us.
Yep.
He's a kayak handler. He fishes tournaments. I mean, he knows what's up, so he keeps bringing them back. So that's cool.
He said he'll take me out on his bass boat Monday if I'll hang around after the tournament, so I don't have to pedal and look for fish.
There you go. That's good stuff. Yeah, Jake says you can fish any way you want, catch as many fish as you want. They love events. Yeah, it's cool. You love communities that like kayak anglers, that support the sport. Russellville's like that, even though Ryan hates it.
Marshall, boy.
Nothing
Somebody
to eat.
turn the internet off in Merville.
We had somebody ask about the upcoming Hobie event in September. They asked everybody's pick. They asked everybody's pick for the winner of that one, which it's a little ways out. But you got any ideas on that, boys?
Are you fishing that one, Jordan?
No.
No, too far. Too far down?
Yeah, no.
To Tejas, Chris, you gonna make the drive?
Where's that at?
Texas, over at Sam Rayburn.
No, I'm probably not gonna make that
Nope.
drive.
All right.
I'm afraid that's going to be a tough tournament. He had Rolando and Ewing. Marshall picked both of those to be up there. I think that's a good bet. From everything I've seen, that's kind of a deeper water brush pile, more of a live scope play type deal. So I could definitely see those that are more scope experienced making some noise on that one. I'm probably gonna pass on that. I think September heat on Sam Rayburn is gonna be brutal for the anglers and the fish.
Hey, let me ask you this, Ryan. Are you going to do the Gunnersville No Limit? That's coming up soon.
I want to. I've got a limited number of days. I'm going to go try to shoot some elk and alligators for 2 of those weekends. So I want to fish the Gunnersville tournament. I think Steve-O messaged me. I think I'm going to slide down and see the Lowrys and fish Sinclair, try to qualify for the Georgia Bass Nation State Championship on Seminole and slide into the Classic Championship out in your neck of the woods, Jeff.
Yeah, very good. I'll just be a spectator at that one. I have 0 avenues that I can make that after missing basically the entire season. So.
That's my only hope is to fish the Georgia Bass Nation stuff. So most of those Georgia guys can't fish, so I'm probably going to slide down there on that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We got Russell Johnson. Russell, he showed up. He said he's got a question for Chris now that he's here.
Tell him he's going to come back and watch the video.
We've already hyped you up, Russell. You have a crown on right now, and you don't even know it.
Yeah, I told them, Russell, that I thought you lived in West Virginia for the first few years that I saw your name on tournament boards because you were always winning the tournaments down there.
He's just the mayor. He's the mayor of West Virginia.
Mayor of West Virginia. He's got a permanent residency. He can go either place.
Hey, we wouldn't be mad if he moved down here, man. Opened up one of his restaurants and opened up something on the New River. That'd be a good way to retire.
I would love to eat at Russell Johnson's restaurant every day of my life.
Hey, Stewart's restaurant on the Greenbrier River. Russell will know where it's at. It's for sale. So
franchise opportunity.
Perfect.
There you go. And yeah, basically they ended the debate about the new versus Susky, but Chris would not comment on it live. Jordan, would you comment on that?
Oh, 100%. There's
New
definitely
River.
The New River is definitely not as good as the Susky. The fishing's fun. The water is like pucker factor all the time, but I like it. Like it was just as fun as fishing our river, but instead of catching 12 and 13s, they were 5 and 6, 7. Like they were small. And I cashed a check with a 14-incher in the last 12 minutes, which was crazy.
And a fun fact that we learned after the show when we interviewed RJ, he was talking about a guy fishing up from below him and getting pissed off. Jordan messages me and he's like, that was me. I was that guy.
Hey, expand on that. How did you get up there? Because he was shocked.
So coming to the stage, Jordan Welliver.
Yeah, expand on how you even got there because he was shocked that somebody was able to get there from the other direction.
So it was definitely better on an idea. Once I was halfway into climbing up over it, I was like, you know what the worst part is of this? I have to go back down. And I had no clue. The kid I was fishing with knew he was fishing there, but I had no clue he was there. So I went up.
He just let you walk off into a bear trap. Go on, Jordan. It's great up there, I hear.
Well, no, we fished there earlier in the week. We were in there, but I just didn't. I didn't see anything that special. Like, I didn't see a winning pattern in there. So I was like, yeah, we'll just keep looking. But we fished above it and fished below it because I wanted to do that whole area. And yeah, I'm like 7:30 on day one. I get there and I'm like, dude, that's RJ. I was like, yeah,
I'm in the right spot now, baby.
Yeah, no, I definitely bounced like shortly after, but I didn't do anything to affect him. I stayed up there and caught like a bunch of 7-inchers so that it was easier.
It's
for
good
him
that you
to
clean
win.
those out.
Yeah, I didn't want him to have to deal with them.
So give us a layout on that. How hard was it getting up there? Like, how big are these rapids? What are we talking about? Like, it just so people listening to the audio podcast can kind of visualize what we're talking about, you having to go up.
It was one of the things that said, do not float over this from Jody Queen, you will die.
Oh, and you were like, watch this. Yeah.
Well, no, float down over it and dragging up over is two different things. But I did go down through them because I thought that it would be easier to do that than fall and break my leg and be like you.
How does it compare to if you're familiar with the Susky at all, that the big rapid that eats everybody's lunch next to the Statue of Liberty? How does it compare to that?
Dude, that one was probably worse.
Really?
It was. Yeah, because there's definitely a way to get down through it, but it's just a lot of hydraulics and random rocks throwing current in different directions. I spun out and went upside down as soon as I eddied out way too quick.
And what were you running through there? What kind of boat were you running through there?
PA-12.
Oh,
Pro angler, duh.
Can't imagine the trouble running rapids with that. I mean, that seems like the perfect.
I did great though. Like, other than that.
Oh man,
just go ahead and float on an air mattress down through there. Be just about to say.
Yeah.
Super stable and comfortable though, Jeff. So you gotta have that. You gotta have that going for you.
Yeah. Sisto says, imagine Susky McKee Falls, but 200 yards long. Dang, I don't know what that means, but it sounds scary.
Sounds rowdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some people talking in the comments.
I'm trying to read through all that. It's blowing my mind.
Any other question for these fellas before we let them get out of here? We're pushing up on an hour. Obviously, they've had a big weekend already. We don't want to keep them too late, especially on that East Coast time.
Especially since Jordan's about to. How far is the drive for you, Jordan, to get to La Crosse?
2 hours down to Steve, and then whatever. Like,
you don't know how far
15,
that whatever is.
14, something like that. Enough. I know it's going to be. We're not leaving till later in the day too, so
yeah,
it's a all-night ordeal.
One more question for you from YouTube. Was there a topwater bite for either of you in the morning? If so, did they miss the bait a lot for either of you or both of you?
I didn't have a lot on top water, but I did have a monster come up and it totally missed it, knocked it foot up in the air and came back and did it twice in a row. And then I backed off for a minute, but I couldn't get it to come back, but it was a stud. But that was it. I didn't have a lot going on top water.
Jordan, any action there on top?
So first thing in the morning, my buddy, he's only done like 3 tournaments, and he fished with me because he doesn't really know anywhere else in the river. And I told him, I was like, listen, I told him the night before, I was like, we're going to go for the overall inches and sign up for the rest of the tournaments. And if it all happens right, we'll do really good. And so we pull up to this island. I was like, you go to one side, I'll go to the other. So we both stopped side by side. We both, like, our baits hit the water at the same time, and both of us doubled up on. Of course, his was 19.75, and mine was 15. But I said to him, I'm like, 985 more inches, let's go. And because 1,000 was my goal. Like, I was not going for anything under that, and I told everyone that was my goal. And then do
you regret that now?
No, not at all. And then like 2 minutes later, I got a fish on a buzzbait, and then I kept it in my hand for most of the morning and was picking up fish randomly.
The fish?
No, the bud fish.
That's what they make
I
donkey
thought you
leashes.
just held on to that one for luck for the rest of the day or
Yeah.
something.
That's what they make donkey leashes for, Ryan. You're supposed to put them in your hand.
But
I kept it in my hand all day and measured it 17 more times throughout the tournament.
Kept shriveling up and getting a
Yeah.
little shorter. Yeah.
But I lost the fish at 10:30 that would have won me. It was bigger than the one I caught, and I lost it like 10:30. Went 2 hours without catching a single fish, and then my next fish was the one I caught, but that was back to the tube.
Back to the
It's
tube.
crazy.
So seriously, you said 1,000 inches. If the river's right, that can be done in one of these 14-inch minimum no limit tournaments. 1,000 inches.
100%. Like 7.5 foot on Sunbury gauge, and decently clear water on both sides.
Who's this lady in the hat talking about you can't even remember to drink water? Is that the lady I met down on Harris Chain?
Who's that? The
Carly?
Christine Fisher.
Yeah. I went with the old classic, you got to be a blonde chick fishing, so it's
Oh, okay.
Christine, 10 out of 10.
I got you. That's the stereotype, isn't it?
yeah.
We're talking about diapers now. Things are getting out of control in the comments.
They've been out of control. This has been a wild comment section. I'm glad. Sorry to the audio listeners. This is why you tune in live. You've missed a great show on the side tonight.
These fantasy football people, they out of control out there. Anything else for these fellas before we let them slide, Ryan?
Congrats, man. I mean, that's a good time. I'm looking forward to getting up there. I'm gonna try to come up for the Bassmaster event. Hopefully that'll be my first full service tournament back in the swing of things. How do you guys? I want to ask, how do you guys feel like that last tournament's going to set up in October?
Hopefully
And
good.
I want one of you to answer that question. I don't care which one, but both would be great.
I mean, the native no limit tournament, I think, was October last year, and it was pretty hard, but I've been up there before, just me and some buddies going up there fun fishing in October and absolutely smashed them. So, I mean, and they're still, biting everything they would in the summertime. So,
Okay.
I mean, it could be good.
Jordan, what do you think? What's your goal for that one? 1,000 inches?
Yeah, with one fish.
What? You catching a sturgeon? What do you got on the docket up there?
Yeah, but no, that one's gonna be a tough one to win, man. It's who fish like big baits that time of year. It's gonna be a slugfest. I don't know. It depends on water temp, how cold it gets, how quick. But if it's in like that low 50s, mid 50s area, it's gonna be a
Degrees?
blast. Yeah.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's getting close to. It might be upper 50s, but I don't see it's still not in the 60s in October.
Okay.
But that's money time both times of the year.
I like it. Sisto wants to know big spoon or little spoon.
I want to be between him and Ryan.
What?
Whoa. Clip that. All right. You got it here first.
All right.
Dang,
that's a
Todd
wrap.
Patrick. You let Todd Patrick guess that, guess the hashtag.
I
Jeff.
did. He's out.
Go
He's on the
on.
road. He's working hard. I'm trying to help the man out.
I like it.
Yeah. All right, fellas. We'll let you slide out of here. We appreciate y'all taking the time. Congrats again. I hope we can have you back on because you won another tournament before the year's out.
Yep. We'll see you guys in October for sure. And I'll probably see you, Jordan, here in a few days.
Appreciate you having me.
Good.
Yes, sir. All right, there we go. That was a
That was a
great
good
one,
interview.
man.
Interesting. I love it when we have guests on that have a lot to talk about. That always helps.
Yeah.
And thank you for everybody in the comment section because we also love when there's a lot to talk about out of the chat as well.
That's right. Yeah, we don't like to sit there and just come up with our own questions and whatnot. We need y'all. So we appreciate y'all coming through clutch.
Yeah, thank you for running the show for us.
Yeah. As you can see, Steven Sisto can't spell. We got the hashtag Seaguar. He was trying to catch us slipping on that. So
He's
throw that
probably
in the
got
comments.
Lotion on his fingers or something.
It's got to be spelled right. I'm sorry. We got some other misspellings in there. We're missing U's, missing A's. So do what we can. We got Tim Grant from YouTube.
Can they copy and paste from this? I don't know. Like, how can we make this easier? Pick someone that spelled it correctly and copy and paste theirs.
Yeah. We'll give it a few minutes to build. It was a big show. We had dang near 100 in there most of the night on 3 platforms, or at least maybe 4. If Dwayne was still on LinkedIn,
I know. I mean, hopefully that LinkedIn got shared around. I hope all my bosses and doctors get to take part in this.
To be honest with you, I forgot I was streaming it over there. It's just on one of the selections that I choose every week, and I just
we're not in network, are we? On LinkedIn?
No, we're good.
I got to keep my two lives separate, preferably.
That's right. We don't want to get this into reality. I don't know what this means. Hashtag see Jake Jannar.
Oh man. Oh boy.
I think we should give it to Jonathan for that one. Hashtag Bob Seager.
Yes. Winner.
Yeah. We've got 53 entries, 85 people watching. I don't see the entries ticking up anymore, so I think we should do the drawing round. What do you say?
Do it.
Here we go.
Slow roll them.
Who's getting slow rolled tonight?
I'm holding my breath secretly. Oh, shout out to Donald Guthrie. I got my KBN boards.
Jake's Fishing on YouTube.
Dun, dun, dun. Another YouTuber. I feel like YouTube kind of dominates the giveaway part, don't they?
Yeah. The dude with the Packers logo got slow rolled pretty hard. I mean, it paused there for a full second and then rolled over to Jake's Fishing. So I apologize.
Just like the Packers do every season. So
that's right. They get to the finals and then boom, they're gone. It won't be a problem this year now that they don't have a quarterback anymore.
Dang. Yep.
So Jake's Fishing. Reach out to us, Kayak Bass Nation at gmail.com, or if you do Facebook or Twitter or something, send us a message over there and we'll get you.
Yep. Slide in the DMs, get me your address, and I will pass it off to Brian at Seaguar, and he will hook you up with a prize pack.
Ryan, next week we're going to be interviewing you about how much you love lacrosse and winning the tournament. What a Cinderella story it would be.
You give me like a top 50 out of lacrosse, and I'll be fairly satisfied. And let me get back without like a DVT or any major medical complication.
If it starts getting any swelling or start feeling hot down there, go seek medical attention quick.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, I meant to ask you about this before we get out of here.
Yeah, man. That's what I said. Donald Guthrie, man. He birthday gift. His dad made those. So Steve-O delivered them to my home today.
That is legit. That is our next thing. If you guys didn't know, we got Cornhole Nation coming soon.
We got to do that. We've talked about it for years. We need to do a big meetup with a cornhole tournament on the side.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right. Well, hey, next week we'll be back talking lacrosse, I reckon.
I love it. All right. We'll see you guys next week.